Ms. J, good morning. Welcome to the Muskogee Creek National Council regular session. Today is December 16, 2023. The time is 9:12 a.m. My name is Speaker William Lowe, and I call this meeting to order. At this time, I would like to ask Pastor Charles West from Demajezi Baptist Church to come and say this morning's invocation. Pastor West, come on over here, sir.
Hello. Lead a song and a prayer. Isakinta me se le ye na ko mo ka Missy Worky Howlegacha. Anyo Mojanita the Bombalicha, Madochi Gage Luis. Lord Hanyo Adukida Mumahanya, Nagi and Dapla Hijaga, Imagua Hijagichin, Lord, Father, as they come together, Lord. Father, we just pray, Father, that you be with the meeting as they come, Father, Lord, and be with them. Anogishka buggy, Yashkida buggy mo, Adukida Mijaga. Lord, Mikagichin, Lord Hanyo Mojanita Yaja. Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this day you have given us, Lord. You just put our blessing hands upon this meeting, Father, as they come together, Lord. And Father, just give them the guidance they need, Father, here today, Lord. And whatever hindrance come up on their way, Father, you be there right there to remove it from them, Father. And Lord, we ask you, Father, just bless this whole congregation here, Father, here this morning, Father. And Lord, there's nothing we can't do, Father, but with you all things are possible, Lord. And we just look to you for all things here today, Lord. Be with those that be in charge, Father, here as they speak, Father. Bunayagat mo manay jagichin nagi indapti jagahanya magohi jagichin. Lord, hanyo adut kirami jagat marochi gejidis, Lord. And Father, we just look to you and let the Tribal Creek Nation tribe be blessed, Father, Lord. That whatever they do, Father, be you, Father, that has the power. You created this day, Father, today that they can come and gather together and fulfill their work here today, Lord. You just be with each and every one of them here today, Lord. And we just leave them all in your hands, Father, here this morning, Father, and just put that joy in their heart. Whatever work they do here today, Lord, let it be according to each one of them, Father, according to their work together here with humbleness and love, Father, as they come together here today, Lord. And we just leave this work in your hands, Father, here this morning. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
So for those great words, Pastor West, we greatly appreciate you, sir. This time, I would like to ask for roll call, National Council Secretary Alicia Strobel.
Speaker William Lowe.
Here.
Galen Cloud.
Here.
Mary Crawford.
Present.
Joyce Deere.
Present.
Patrick Freeman.
Here.
Sandra Golden.
Present.
Tanner Gouge.
Here.
Nelson Harjo.
Here.
Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Randall Hicks.
Present.
Robert Huft.
Present.
Anna Marshall.
Present.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Thomas Yahola Osborne.
Here.
Present.
Darrell Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Speaker, you have 16 present, 0 absent.
16 present and 0 absent. That constitutes a quorum. Any business conducted this morning will be valid. On to the approval of minutes. We have minutes from planning session November 6, 2023, Pre-agenda, regular session, November 7, 2023. Emergency session, November 29, 2023. National Council, at your leisure, I will take a motion to approve.
Speaker,
Yes, Representative Marshall.
I make a motion that we approve the aforementioned minutes with any necessary changes.
Yes, ma'am. Representative Anna Marshall makes a motion to approve all aforementioned minutes, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Discussion. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing no discussion on the minutes, roll call vote, please.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. The minutes are approved. At this time, before we get started, I'd like to introduce our special guest, Principal Chief David Hill, and Second Chief Dale Beaver. Mado for coming today. We appreciate you all. As always, thank you, Chief. Second Chief, appreciate you. On to the order of business. TR 23-123, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the Principal Chief to execute a memorandum of understanding with the City of Clairview. Sponsor, Representative Charles McHenry.
Speaker, make a motion to adopt.
Representative Charles McHenry makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Mark Randolph. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-123 is adopted. TR 23-125, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation confirming the nomination of Alexandra Masters to serve as a district trial court judge for the Family Law Division, including child support, of the District Trial Court of the Muskogee Creek Nation. Sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Randall Hicks makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Second Speaker Robert Huff. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 0 against, and 1 to abstain.
14 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. TR 23-125 is adopted. At this time, Judge Masters, would you please stand and be recognized? Let's give a round of applause. Thank you for your service. We're very proud of you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda, TR 23-126, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation approving the gaming licenses regulation submitted by the Muskogee Creek Nation Public Gaming Commission. Sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Randall Hicks makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Second Speaker Robert Huff. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-126 is adopted. TR 23-127, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation certifying broadband availability and affordability within the Muskogee Creek Nation Reservation. Sponsor, Representative Sandra Golden.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Sandra Golden makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-127 is adopted. NCA 23-152, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending NCA 22-070, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the American Rescue Plan Act fiscal recovery funding for the benefit of the Tiny Homes Program. Sponsor is Representative Charles McHenry.
Speaker, make a motion to adopt.
Representative Charles McHenry makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Is there any discussion? Representative Golden.
Yes, one of the things that I had requested was the guidelines, and they said that they were available now. But I do have a question about when will these be open to the citizens, and will it not be under housing?
We will have that answer in just a second. Good morning, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we are awaiting the legislation that was passed to be signed by Chief, and then we will have the policy and procedures signed, and then those will be made available. Our goal date is the end of January, and as of now, currently, it will not be under housing.
What program will it be under?
Currently, it will be under my program.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, representatives? And could you state your program's name just for the
Oh,
minutes?
yes,
please?
I'm sorry, food services.
All right, outstanding. Food services. Any other comments, questions, concerns? None at all. Thank you, ma'am, so much.
you.
All right. Hearing no other comments, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
No,
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 1 against.
14 in favor, 1 against. NCA 23-152 is adopted. NCA 23-153, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for the benefit of the Office of Environmental Services. Sponsor is Representative Galen Cloud.
Asimbunailo ya yanakoleze ya tumutete Johnson and
Representative Galen Cloud makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Representative Golden.
one of the questions that I have is the criteria that they use for low income. Is that our guidelines, or is it the funding agency guidelines for low income people?
Jesse, you want to come down, sir?
I get it.
Or whoever. Williams? You could run. I'm just kidding.
Through the funding agency, so the EPA is the funding agency, so we use their guidelines.
Guidelines. EPA guidelines, you good? That good to go? Okay, all right. Mr. Williams, would you like to say anything, sir? Yeah, all means.
Morning, Council.
Morning.
This is just a award from the EPA for our Office of Environmental Services, and this is so we can start an air program. It's not income-based or anything. It's just we're going to set a series of monitors, portable monitors, different locations in the reservation. Our biggest concern is Tulsa with all the industry, and so we'll set something up on one of our properties south of Tulsa. We're also interested in Muskogee. We're interested in all of them, actually, but those are the biggest impact areas that we see right now. We're interested in Okmulgee, we're interested in Holdenville, just different places around the reservation.
Ready, sir. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Thank you, sir.
Galen Cloud,
yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Sandra Golden,
Yes,
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks, Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-153 is adopted. NCA 23-154, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Family Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program funds for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Social Services Program. Sponsor is Second Speaker Robert Huff.
Motion to adopt.
Second Speaker Robert Huff makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Representative Golden.
I apologize. I was looking at this one instead of the other one. But the question was for this legislation.
Okay.
About
If
the
you want to restate your question, we can address it, ma'am. Please.
income guidelines.
Come, God. Okay.
Are they from the funding agency or are they set by the tribe?
Have Ms. Aaron Salzman on her way down. Morning, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Good morning. Every year we have to submit a funding plan to the funding agency to say how we're going to run the program. And we have the option to either operate the income guidelines on state median income or federal poverty guidelines. The way that we have chosen to and been approved to operate is state median. So it's 60% of the state median income. That has been approved by the federal funding source.
Thank you. And the reason that I asked is because a lot of people ask who sets these guidelines.
Certainly.
Thank you very
Yes, ma'am.
much.
Thank you.
Representative Yohola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. Ms. Salzman, does that, right here,
Aaron.
right
Yes, ma'am.
here. Does that benefit the citizen?
Yes, I believe we looked at the differences between going with the poverty and doing the state median income, and the state median income catches a bigger.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Any other comments, questions, representatives? Nope. Thank you, Aaron. Greatly appreciate you. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Hunter Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-154 is adopted. NCA 23-155, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the United States Department of Agriculture and appropriating the tribal match for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Food Distribution Program. Sponsor, Representative Mary Crawford.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Mary Crawford makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Joyce Deer. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Representative Golden.
There are income guidelines for the food distribution program. And is there anyone here that could answer the income guidelines that we go by,
Yes,
whether it's
ma'am.
federal or whether it's the state?
Good morning again. Yes, they are set by federal guidelines.
And when the citizens don't meet the guidelines, how many would you say that we turn away because they don't meet the income guidelines?
I would say on an average, there are maybe 2 to 3 a month that are rejected for the program, and that's sometimes not just income guidelines, that's because they're on another program that is federally funded also.
So, especially in our area, there are some people that say I'm only $1 over the income guidelines, and so we just have to cut them off because we have no other
Yes,
source
ma'am.
for that.
When we accept federal funds, we have to follow their guidelines.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you, ma'am. Greatly appreciate it.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman. Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-155 is adopted. NCA 23-156, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the U.S. Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Head Start Program. Sponsor, second speaker, Robert Huft.
Motion adopt.
Second speaker, Robert Huff, makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker, I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am. Representative Golden.
On the budget request, there's a supplies amount for 1,000, and it says that this would include shirts. And I just wondered if, when they get the shirts, what logo are they gonna put on the shirts?
We have anyone that can answer that? Agriculture? Secretary Kayla Harjo, Education. Floor is yours.
You're talking about the Head Start program? So the funding, the shirts are going to be used for the volunteers to do the drives for the car seats. And so that logo will contain the Muskogee Creek Nation Head Start logo, since this funding is going to be provided through our Head Start program.
Good. All right. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark
Yes.
Randolph. Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-156 is adopted. NCA 23-157, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds received from the United States Department of the Treasury for the benefit of the Okmulgee County Fairgrounds. Sponsor, Representative Joseph Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Joseph Hicks makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Discussion. Is there any discussion?
Speaker, I don't believe anybody from the fairgrounds or Mr. Haltram has shown up, but if you don't mind, I'll speak on it just
Okay,
real quick.
yes, by all means.
What I've proposed here is down there at the fairgrounds, their pens that the kids use, the 4-H and FFA kids use for to store their animals in whenever they have shows, they're dilapidated. They're falling apart bad. Kids get cut on them all the time. It's not a good situation for the kids. At this time, the fairgrounds themselves, they don't have the funding to fix this on their own. So they actually reached out to William Haltram to see about if we could possibly help out on getting this fixed. So they have proposed to tear down all the pins in there and replace them with, I guess, kind of like portable pins to where they can take them down, make them bigger, make them smaller for whichever type of animals they need to put in there. Now, I understand the last time this was brought up that, there was questions about the native kids that use these or that, use these pins for this, for the shows and stuff. Granted, I don't have the numbers and on exactly how many Creek citizens we have or Creek students we have that show for this year. But I do know that as far as native students, there's well over 300 native students that show. That's within all the tribes. But what I'd like everybody to also think about is these pens aren't going to be just utilized for, we'll just throw out a number, say there's 60 Creek students this year. These pens aren't going to just benefit those 60 Creek students. These pens are going to benefit the 60 Creek students this year, the 60 Creek students next year, the 60 after that, the 60 after that. And I know they'll benefit for that long because these are the same pens that they're using right now that I used whenever I was in high school. So that's been quite a few years ago. So that's been a lot of Creek students have gone through there and used these pens. So like I said, this is just a proposal to try to help them to make it a more safe environment for the students down there and for the animals also. So,
All righty, sir. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Representative Harjo.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a statement. And, you know, my son used these pens back when he was little, and that's been several years ago for him. And it was so neat watching our native kids as they began to receive the funds from the tribe to buy an animal, and then watching them learn what it meant to take care of that animal, and then watching them learn what it meant to show that animal, and then take the pride in winning, and just the pride of just being able to be out there and be on display in front of everybody with their particular animal they took the time and spent the time to raise from a little piglet or whatever it may have been. And I thought that was pretty neat. I know the last time that this come before, council, that, the question was, why aren't the others, why don't we put this off because others didn't ask for it? Well, unfortunately, they just didn't ask for it. This particular place did. And so, I'm glad they have because, now we're here, all are a part of the reservation, but, if they don't ask, well, then that's unfortunately not our problem on that part, but these folks did ask. This is a part of the thing to where we come to the point of understanding what it means to share the wealth. Because, our kids, unless we're just going to build a place of our own to have our kids do these particular things, well, then right now they have to share a particular facility with other kids. And so why not benefit that facility for our own kids, even though others may be using it? In the long run, what happens is now all of a sudden we allow these kids to understand what, the ag side of things are, to learn, understand what it means to be maybe a future farmer of some type, or, maybe become an ag teacher or whatever it may be, and, there's things even down to shoeing horses, there's things they may be interested in. And, land, preservation and conservation, there's things that they learn through all these particular things. But that's all a part of that particular office over there. This is just a portion of it, and we can impact just a portion of it that may have a big impact on the rest of our kids, and allowing them that particular thing to do and it be safe. Well, then, I think it's a really good thing. So this is why I support this. I've seen what it's done, and I've watched those kids sit there. I've seen some of our Indian kids sit there in the pens with their pigs, and they couldn't walk away from the pig because the pig's become such a baby, and it would just scream and holler unless that kid was in the pit with them. And I think that's pretty neat that they learn to do something of that nature. And so that allows them to understand many different facets of what it means to deal with animals, and just to learn about themselves, learn about what they can be as a person. So thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Great comments. Any other questions, comments? Representative Hicks.
Thank you, Speaker. First one would be, and I understand what Representative Hicks and Representative Nelson Harjo are stating. I guess one of my concerns is this is community-wide. Who else is pitching in on this besides Creek Nation? Who else have we asked? I'm sure they can't answer this one, but nobody else is here to answer. But, I mean, we're saying so many Native children, but they're not the only ones using it, and Muskogee Creek Nation isn't the only one using this facility. It's county-wide. So my question, I guess, is there any other county or departments or businesses chipping in as well?
Speaker, Mr. Haltram has shown up. If
you want to come on down,
speak.
sir, and maybe you can. You please state your name and your organization for the council.
My name is Billy Holtman. I'm the manager of the Muskogee Creek Nation Agriculture Youth Program. I first of all like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of this project. Listen, we have about approximately 300 kids in our agriculture youth program in 8 different counties. We work hand in hand with different fair boards throughout our county, and this fair board right here in the home of the Muskogee Creek Nation is one that out of our 300 young people that we have, 60 of them call this place home. This is where they come to not only show livestock, but also we use that facility for archery practice. We use that facility for STEM and robotic practice. We do a lot of different things out there, and we work hand in hand with our extension people. And I realize this is a large sum, and again, to answer your specific question, I'm not for sure how they are working on this in phases. They're trying to improve their fairgrounds a little at a time, and they're doing it in phases. And this is the first phase that we would like to get done. And of course, everybody knows that in today's climate, it's hard to get funding for anything. And it's extremely hard to find partners that are willing to support our young people. This is something that even though we have 60 Creek students here that are going to use this thing, it's used not once or twice a year. We use that thing on a regular basis, almost on a weekly basis. I thought that there would be somebody from the fair board here today to answer some more of the specific questions that they have. But, you know, I just returned last night from Las Vegas, where I attended the Intertribal Agriculture Council, where we were able to have 2 of our Creek youth there to represent not only Muskogee Nation, but also our Muskogee Creek Agriculture Youth Program. And it's these things that happen on a national level, big time for our Creek youth. And today, our Creek youth in our ag program have more opportunity for success than they ever have. And it only happens with the support of this board and funding these type of programs on what I would consider a grassroots type basis. You know, here at the local level, the more of this that we can do, the more opportunities we provide for our Creek youth, the greater the possibility they are to be able to reach those goals that, for instance, on the national level, like the 2 young ladies that represented us this week in Las Vegas.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other comments? Representative Hicks.
Thank you. With that being said, this is phase 1, so how many phases is there, do you know?
I couldn't answer that question.
So with that also being said, I guess I'm thinking, how much more money are they going to come to us asking for funding for these other phases?
I could say that we're not going to ask for any other funding. If you could find it within yourself to support us in this legislation, I think that we would be more than tickled to put up a big sign out there recognizing the Creek Nation for the support that they give to our young people, and that would be the end of it.
And my last comment would be, we have so many children, Native American, participating in this, and there's a need. You see a need. Why aren't we building our own? Is there any foresight?
No, and we to answer that question, we are. I actually have funding right now to build my own building, that not so much for a show facility, but for me to use to help provide our young people an opportunity to come and wash their animals, for me to clip them, to work on them. We go to livestock shows throughout the course of the year. I mean, this time of year, we go almost every weekend to a livestock show. So we have plans future plans to build facilities for ourselves. But at the same time, they're still going to have an Okmulgee County livestock show. And that's still going to happen at the Extension office or at the fairgrounds, regardless of if we were able to build our own big facility where we could, as everyone knows, we have put on a livestock show in January. This is our 11th annual show. It's a program that's really grown in leaps and bounds, but again, it just takes support at this level.
Okay. I guess what I'm looking at is putting this amount of funding into something that is actually ours.
Well, in cooperation with everybody else, it's a community. It belongs to Okmulgee.
Correct, and that's kind of goes back to my first question. It belongs to Okmulgee, so who else is chipping in besides Muskogee Creek Nation?
Well, on this particular phase, it would be nobody but us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Representative Randolph, did you have?
Thanks, Speaker.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it affects, I'm just wondering if it affects the nation, this been ARPA funds.
Is Zachariah, are you on, sir? Zachariah?
I sure am.
All righty.
Everyone
Did you hear Representative Randolph's question? If you could say that one more time, Mark. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Harjo. I'm just wondering how this will affect, or if it will affect the nation, this being ARPA funds that was awarded to us.
No, it won't affect the nation in really any capacity beyond, I believe, probably a feel-good story for the general public as well as Treasury. This falls directly under the Title I eligibility. So specifically, we've used it to justify Indian Community Development Block Grant related projects. But Title I specifically references Community Development Block Grant and projects. So the larger eligibility is just that we're making an investment in the community for blighted structures. It's 100% eligible, and the nation, as the recipient of funds, is eligible to make its own determinations who is a subrecipient of those funds under the eligibility categories. So this is 100% eligible as far as the nation and council is willing to make the appropriation.
Thank you. Thanks, Speaker.
Righty, thank you. Any other comment, Representative Harjo? Then Golden.
Yeah, I'll make this one last statement. You know, just thinking about everything, you know, I sit on the JOM board for years there at Wilson School, and one of the biggest pieces of advice my dad gave me, because that's something he did back years ago for Walika Public Schools, and he said you can't really do a lot of things outside of the curriculum that's set before the public school. And he said, so if you make anything and decide you want to do anything with those JOM funds, well, then what's going to happen is your kids are only going to have maybe 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe just a little bit longer throughout the course of the day to utilize whatever it is you guys purchase for Indian kids. And he said, so sometimes you got to understand there has to be that share the wealth moment, where even though you put computers or whatever it is in the classrooms where, you know, where other kids may utilize it, at least your children are going to be able to utilize that particular computer throughout the curriculum. So I think sometimes when we look at this, becomes one of those moments where we share the wealth just a little bit. Even though there may be other people that are utilizing it, it gives our kids an opportunity and affords them an opportunity to show their stuff, not only before the Indian community who may be there, who may purchase one of their cows or pigs or whatever it may be, but even for somebody else to do so as well. So again, it puts them on the grandstand of everything. You know, that's a big show for them. That's a way for them to learn a lot of other things about what it means to be a showman, and again, just to trust their own abilities. And so I really enjoy this. Now, do I have cattle of my own? No, but my grandfather did. You know, did my son raise pigs and show them? Yes, he did. Do I still have pigs? No, but I eat them, you know, but otherwise I don't have anything, but I do understand those things because I was also afforded the opportunity to be in VOAG and do a lot of different things. So I understand the importance of all that. And so we have a higher education place here in the department to where our kids can go off to college and do many different things. You know, we feed a lot of the sports venues that we have for some of the kids. Some of these kids aren't sports people. Some of them want to do ag. Some of them want to do these particular things. And what do? Well, then we got to help feed those things for those kids. So it becomes important to them, and showing them that we also care in that respect too. I mean, we do in every other avenue, and we need to do that with these kids. You know, that's just like, I've got a lot of nieces and nephews who are athletes. And, you know, I used to do martial arts myself, but I also like making flutes. So the music side of my family come out in me too as well. And so, you know, you got to feed those kids to what it is that they want to really go towards. And if you don't do that, well, then sometimes we can miss opportunities for them because we don't do those particular things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Representative Golden.
Yes, since these are ARPA funds, one of the things is I see it as an investment, not only in the children, but also with the community. And certainly we need to think about partnerships in the best interest of our communities. I just have one last question. That is the contractor that is going to do the work, are they on the CISO list, Creek?
Representative Hicks, do you know that, Joseph?
No, I do not. I don't know that.
Yeah, no.
So if it hasn't been done, I'd like to recommend that the CISO list be looked at because it does come back into to our Creek-owned businesses.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Last, Representative Gouge.
Yes, last time this bill came up, there was questions about who else is going to fund it. Just same questions Mr. Randall Hicks made comments about. And at that time, we also made comments that why don't we build our own barn? Why don't we establish and create and develop our own ag program? I agree, we need to be cooperative and work with our neighbors, but let's work with them, our neighbors, with our equipment, our facility, because it could be used 100% for our people, our children, and we can instill pride in our children, in our organization, in our building. We do this, it's going to go to the fairgrounds, which I agree with Mr. Hicks. Other people should be pitching in on the cost of this, at least half. We're pitching in money for 67 children, which I think what the legislation refers to, and I understand 67 every year, but it could be used in our facility. We need to start investing in ourselves. Thank you, Speaker.
All right, thank you. Last comment, Representative Yehola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. I honestly am still torn about this legislation, and I agree with sharing the wealth, but I also think it should be fair. Because I think about those other county fairgrounds that might need assistance in repairing or redoing their county fairgrounds. I also think about, on the positive note, I believe that this is an outlet for some of our students who might have I think about mental well-being a lot, and this could be an outlet for some of our students that aren't athletes. So again, I'm still kind of torn even sitting right here, but I just wanted to throw that out there. And I agree with that. We should probably consider building our own. But, you know, a lot of our citizens, sometimes they don't know who to ask. You know, as Representative Harjo stated, the Okmulgee County Fairgrounds, they did ask. But now that we're here and we're discussing, maybe we should consider reaching out to the other fairgrounds and asking if there is assistance that they need, and maybe make an appropriation to each of those fairly. And again, I'm still kind of undecided right now, but I just wanted to speak those things. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
No.
Hannah Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yahala Osborne,
No.
Harold Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Oh.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
No.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Leonard Gouge,
No.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Speaker of 10 in favor, 5 against.
10 in favor, 5 against. NCA 23-157 is adopted. NCA 23-158, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community Policing Services, COPS 2023, COPS Hiring Program, CHP, Grant Program, and appropriating tribal funds for the tribal match for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Light Horse Police Department. Sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Randall Hicks make a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Joseph Hicks. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Representative Golden.
Yes, I just have a concern that this has not been approved and visited by the commission, and they haven't been able to meet, so they can't look at it. And so that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments, questions, representatives? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
No.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Deer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
We have 13 in favor, 2 against.
13 in favor, 2 against. NCA 23-158 is adopted. NCA 23-159, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending NCA 23-107, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation approving the comprehensive annual budget for fiscal year 2024 and providing for appropriations as amended by NCA 23-148. Sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Randall Hicks makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Representative Freeman.
I'd like to ask the
Controller, if you would take the podium, please, and the floor is yours.
Yes, when this was originally funded, it was funded by BIA, and then the next year it was supposed to go into the annual budget. At that time, it was funded by the self-governance funds, and then from that point, I think it was assumed it would be self-governance. It didn't go, wasn't approved through self-governance, so now we're wanting to add that back into the budget, and it'll be funded by gaming, like the rest of their realties funding. If you have any additional questions, you might want to talk to Zach.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, representatives? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please. Thank you, Controller.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Deer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 1 against.
14 in favor, 1 against. NCA 23-159 is adopted. NCA 23-160, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing a supplemental appropriation for the Muskogee Creek Nation Citizenship Office's fiscal year 2024 budget. Sponsor, Representative Joyce Deer.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Joyce Deer makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Mary Crawford. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-160 is adopted. NCA 23-161, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, fiscal relief funding for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Recreation Department. Playing fields located at the Claude Cox Omniplex in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Sponsor, Representative Mark Randolph.
Motion to-
Co-sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks, sorry.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Mark Randolph makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Randall Hicks. Discussion. Have any discussion, representatives?
Speaker,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to give a little time for our second chief, Mr. Del Beaver.
Certainly, Second Chief, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Speaker, if you would just give me a few minutes just to kind of give over the kind of an overview of the history and kind of how we came to where we're at today. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not being at the planning session on Tuesday. I did not know that this was going to be discussed at the planning session. If I would have known, I would have been there to answer any more questions. But really, how we got here is that as we all know that our Omniplex is an opportunity for the nation, and as you can see that I don't think it's being utilized to the fullest that it can be utilized. It could be utilized for economic benefit to the area. It could be utilized for our community benefit, and we do a good job of using it, but we're not utilizing it to its full extent. And so the legislation you see before you is able for us to utilize it to its full extent. I know it's a hefty price tag, but believe me, it's a investment 100% back into ourselves and not to anybody else. Okay, this is 100% investment back into ourselves. And so what this investment does is not only creates 4 new ball fields for the nation, these will be top of the line championship type ball fields. And so when we talk about the price tag, that's what we're getting is these championship type ball fields. And so if you look, and I have a pretty good experience of visiting other ball fields because my daughter plays travel ball, and so I go to a lot of different ball fields. And so if we can get this passed and get this built, the nation goes from, and more importantly, the citizens and the families of the nation, we will be competitors instead of customers because we're customers right now. We farm out everything. Our families go to Fire Lake to play ball. Our families go to Savage Park near Hard Rock to play ball. If we're lucky, we get to go to Bigsby. If we're lucky, we go to Owasso a lot to play ball. And on top of that, we have to go to Tulsa. We have to go to maybe to Shawnee, even Oklahoma City, some of our families, to even practice ball. And so, when we talk about when gas is $2.50 a gallon, even when it was $4 a gallon, that's a big, big hit on our family budget. And so I've talked to more than one family that live in Southern I-40, and if they got to go to practice twice a week, take their child to Tulsa for practice twice a week. They're not getting back till 10:30, and you're also talking about gas, you're talking about money, you're talking about food, those types of things. And on weekends, hey, we budget at least $200 every time we go to a tournament. You're talking about fees, you're talking about gas, you're talking about food. When we go to Fire Lake, what we do is, in the Fire Lake, they're owned by the Citizen Potawatomis, right? We drop off our girl at the gate. We go to their grocery store. We get up and load up on our snacks. We eat. And when we leave, we fill up on gas at their gas station. There's no reason in the world we can't have that right here. And so what this legislation does is it creates opportunities for not only our families, but for the nation also. If we can get this built, we'll literally have hundreds of people coming in to our area. And so that gives credence to have our own grocery store. It will help out our gas stations, our travel plazas. And believe me, it will help out our casinos also. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. That's where people go. You might have a 3-hour wait in between ball games. You got to do something, right? And so that's what this does, is that this is a 100% investment into the nation's entities that we already own. We already own this, okay? And not only that, when we talk about opportunities, I can say that, oh yeah, it will create these opportunities. It will open up these doors. I've already been talking to people about this. We had conversations with Oklahoma City Spark last spring. They flew in, the owners of the Oklahoma City Spark, they're the professional women's softball team in Oklahoma City. They flew into the Okmulgee airport. They came to our office and we had a good conversation. They toured our facilities. They wanted to have a ball game during the festival, but we couldn't make it happen because of the facilities. We had a conversation with the president of the Atlanta Braves just this week, on Wednesday. Not take it back, Thursday. It was Thursday. Mr. Schiller, President Schiller, he wants to have some type of partnership with the nation because he knows that Atlanta is historically our homelands, right? And so he wants to have a partnership with the nation. And so when I talked about the legislation that's coming forward Saturday, he was excited about it. And so I invited them down. I said, hey, come and look at our facility. If we can get this thing built, come look at it. And so when I talk about these types of partnerships, they're already knocking on the door. We just got to build it. And so I'm not saying these things of could or would. I'm saying they're right here and right now. But we just have to invest in the infrastructure, invest in the facilities that really our kids and our families deserve. That's what it's about. Our families deserve this. Our kids deserve to play on the best. Now, I'm tired of going to other places and saying, man, we can do that. Man, we can do the same thing over there. Man, I wish, our families didn't have to drive 2 hours to go play ball. People want to stay here. It's a different, it's a different atmosphere now when you talk about youth sports. And so travel ball, whether it's softball, whether it's baseball, whether it's soccer, I dare say it's more important than high school sports. It's gotten to that level, and there's a lot of money in it, a lot of money in it. And so I say a lot of money, and there's a potential lot of money for the nation, but also our families have to deal out a lot of money. And so if we can help our families keep some of that money in their family, then that's a win-win. And so is Mike here? We have Mike Sands here with Recreation. He can answer some of the questions. When we talk about, so I got the big ideas, right? And so this is the big idea, but Mike will be responsible for actually day-to-day making it happen. He's talked with the companies that might be putting the turf in. We have Jason Adair. He's with the lighting company. And so those are the people that will say, well, if it's not working, that's who we point the fingers at, all right? And and I say that in jest, but they're here to answer any questions that the council might have. And so, Mike, if you want to come down, if we have any questions, like I said, I know it's a big price tag, so I want to be fully transparent about it.
All right, appreciate you, Second Chief. Thank you. Do we have any questions, Representative Sandra Golden?
In the other legislation in regard to the investment in the fairgrounds, we talked about the number of students. Here, I guess it would be the number of the students or the number of families. Has there been any projection on how many families, how many students this would be for?
No. When you talk about projections, you're talking about have we done these things before? And so the only thing that we've done at the ball field is really the festival, and we hold league ball out there. We hold maybe charitable tournaments out there, and so those are all our people anyway. And so, but believe me, when I go to different places, I see lots of creek tags in those parking lots. And believe me, the teams, it's up to the team really to determine where they want to go. And so the teams are made up of families. And so when you give them opportunities, hey, do you want to play in this cow pasture that's an hour and a half away? Or do you want to play on a championship type ball field that's 45 minutes away? That's really the driving force of where these things go. And so, and some kids, they might play on a Class A team, a better team. And they might go to, Wichita, or they might go to Dallas to play, but for the most part, people play locally. And so that's the opportunity that we're looking at. And on top of that, Dr. Randall's here, but we've talked about the college. What's the potential for the college to be there? And I don't want to put words in his mouth, but there's, we've already know that the Ravens have started the basketball team that plays at the Dome. In their next 5-year plan, sports is part of that next 5-year plan. And so why wouldn't our kids play at Omniplex? We have a championship type ball field, so why wouldn't they play there? And so it kind of fits into the narrative of the long term of what we're looking at. And so to answer your question in a roundabout way, I can't quantify it, but believe me, it's there though. It's there.
The other question is about the contractor. Are they listed on the CISO list?
I believe so. If I remember reading through the legislation, they are CISO certified.
Thank you. Representative Harjo.
Yes, Second Chief. I would just sit there, and I think you already touched on it, because I would just sit there thinking about the college aspect too, of whether or not we could get a lot of college play there as well, because I'm sure there's probably some of the junior colleges around who may need a nicer facility or would like a nicer facility, and maybe even on a junior college level, we could maybe even entertain the ideal of even having their particular big tournaments there as
Absolutely.
far as championships and all those things. But I'm in total agreement because, you know, I know that we utilize that place, but I think there can be a lot of more monetary benefits from that, especially if we move in the direction that you're speaking in terms of.
Sure.
Thank you.
Another aspect of that, Representative Harjo, is that we've had those ball games lined up. We have. They have agreed to come here and play, but guess what happens? It might rain. And we all know when it rains at our ball field, that's it. It's done. We can't play anymore. The tournament's canceled. Fire Lake, it rains, you wait 30 minutes to an hour, and you're playing again because they got turf ball fields. And so there's nothing more frustrating as a family to go travel somewhere, and then all of a sudden you have a rain delay, and you think, man, I spent a whole day getting out here, and they're going to call the tournament. And how many times has that happened? And so another aspect of this, which reminds me, is that, you know, there's a reason why we switched the festival from where it used to be in spring, right? Y'all remember when it used to be in spring, March, April, April, that type of deal, May maybe, because it rained too much. We had to cancel the ball tournaments. If we want to move it from June, when it's 95 degrees, back to the springtime where it's 80, we have the opportunity to do that now because we don't have that so-called cloud, right? Excuse the pun, over us of say, well, it rains in the springtime. We won't be able to play. Well, now that won't be an option. We can look past that. We'll have the opportunity to play if it rains.
Representative Hicks, you got a question, sir?
Thank you, Speaker. I had several. First of all, I want to thank Second Chief, and I want to thank Mr. Sands. I did send, I think, about 12 questions yesterday pertaining to this, and Mr. Sands did respond to each and every one of them, so I do appreciate that. And then as far as like Representative Golden was stating, as far as projected revenue, kind of based off how many tournaments and such that we have, but we're not only capitalizing on Muskogee Creek Nation or Native Americans, those tournaments should be open, and so you're going to generate revenue from everybody. So one of the questions, Mike's coming down. One of the questions that I asked him, the turf that we're getting is Sports Grass Pro. And my question, because I was looking through the packet and I noticed there was like 10 different types of artificial turf. So my question to Mr. Sands was, why are we getting the Pro, Sport Grass Pro or whatever? So if you'd elaborate on the different types and why we're getting the one that we're getting.
Sure. Good morning. I'm Ross Spencer. I'm with Forever Lawn, and we're the contractor. Our recommendation to go with the turf product that we propose is called Sports Grass Max Unitary. It's one of our normal sports grass products. The reason it was recommended for this project is because this is a baseball softball application, and I don't want to get too technical. I can if you want me to, but it's a blended fiber product, meaning it has two types of blade fibers, which helps the roll of the ball. So if you're playing a sport like football, a single split film blade fiber is fine. When you're playing a sport like baseball, softball, lacrosse, soccer, a blended fiber is usually recommended. So this is that. This product has a nylon thatch, which is kind of the supportive layer below, which is going to help with longevity and durability of the product, help it perform well for a long time. It also requires a lot less infill, meaning the little rubber pieces that you see. It requires a lot less of that, so it's less of a nuisance. The field's going to play more consistently, and just based on the description we got from Mike and Zach and Warren about what they wanted out of this, that was our recommendation.
Okay. And then as far as the preparation before the turf, what about the drainage? I know that we had a drainage issue out there. Is that included?
Yes, our price includes everything from start to finish, and we're not just going to take a guess at it. We're having geotechnical surveying. We'll have geotechnical engineering, soil sampling, site survey, Wallace Design Collective is the engineering firm that's going to design the drainage plan. There'll be excavation and grading done by GPS-guided equipment. The drainage plan will be per an engineered stamp plan. It's not something that I'm making up. We've got it priced in for an engineer to come in and design that all.
Okay, so none of that has been completed yet.
No. That's all part of the project.
Well, what's going to happen once you do it and you find out it's going to be more than what you put your bid on?
Well, there's a general idea of what this normally costs based on experience. I did have some exclusions in the contract if unsuitable soils are encountered. There's going to be some changes if that happens. But all we can do right now is go with the assumption that the soils are going to sample in the way that they normally do, and a typical base plan, stone profile, et cetera, will be suitable for this area. And if problems are encountered, then that's something we'll have to discuss when it happens.
Okay.
That can't really be discussed until the geotechnical engineering's been done.
Okay, and then also in your bid packet, I noticed your company is going to hire 3 Muskogee Creek citizens.
Yeah, that Warren emphasized to me the importance of getting other CISO companies and tribal laborers involved, and he said, he asked me or encouraged me to, wherever I can, create opportunities within my scope of work for that to happen. And so that's not a requirement that I'm asking. That's something I'm offering. If it is of interest, if it's helpful to get some of the tribe's laborers involved. I need skilled turf workers out there, but I also need some guys that are just laborers, that are just some extra muscle, and I would be glad to make room for some laborers for that use.
Okay, so I guess my question was going to be, so CISO is going to be the one responsible for hiring those 3, but the payroll will come out of your budget.
Yes, I've budgeted for that, yes.
Okay. And then, Mr. Sands, as far as the inventory equipment, is that something that's not included in this? The only thing this legislation is for the labor and material. What about the equipment? As far as the turf sweeper, what else did we have?
Got it. You mean the ongoing maintenance?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ongoing maintenance is something that we've priced separately on a per visit basis. There is a sweeper included in the price that I'll provide to the owner, as part of the project. That's for kind of monthly, even weekly, however often you want to sweep for top debris. As far as the real multiple time per year, maybe twice a year maintenance, where the grooming and the magnet bar and the seam inspection and all of that happens, that's something that we recommend us doing ourselves, and it requires some more expensive items to really get in there and groom the blade fibers. And so there's a sweeper that's included that will be ordered and given. It's a pull behind that you guys can use to keep the fields looking nice and get debris up. But as far as the grooming, which is going to help with longevity and the field to play its best, we recommend allowing us to come out 2 to 3 times a year to do that.
That's something that our people could learn and do, though?
Certainly.
Okay. Because I know, reading your bid, it's $4,000 a pop for you guys to come out.
Yeah, I'd be happy to teach. I'd be happy to help source that equipment and everything like that. I'm super interested in the fields that we install being maintained well, because they reflect upon our company, and I want happy customers, and I want our fields to be playing well. But as long as I'm able to train and recommend the right equipment, that's no problem.
My last question, I promise, Speaker, probably second chief or maybe somebody. I guess I have a concern of having 3 fields, softball and 1 baseball, if we're going to compete against Fire Lake for state tournaments. I wonder if just having 3 fields versus 4 would hurt us.
You can play the softball on the baseball field.
That's what I was kind of alluding to, and so that baseball one, it can be converted to the softball?
Yes, it's multi, yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you.
All right.
And just one last thing, sorry to take up the time, but 2 weeks ago, I was talking with Frank Harjo with our geospatial department, and just about the flood-prone areas and drainage issues that we have around the nation. And so he is applying for a grant to help with possibly some of these floodplain issues. And so I had him add the Omniplex to that list of properties that we can assess to help those issues.
Thanks.
Final comments, questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
No.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
No.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
You have 12 in favor, 3 against.
12 in favor, 3 against. NCA 23-161 is adopted. NCA 23-162, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, fiscal relief funding for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Recreation Department to replace and install new lighting for the playing fields located at the Claude Cox Omniplex in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Sponsor, Representative Mark Randolph.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Mark Randolph makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Randall Hicks. Discussion. Is there any shorter discussion than what we just had? Any shorter? I'm just kidding. Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
You have 15 in favor, 0 against.
15 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-162 is adopted. That concludes our order of business. On to other business. Do we have any other business? Council representatives. Hearing no other business. Announcements. Do we have any announcements? Second Speaker Huff.
We have 2 plaques we want to present today. One is to Joseph Hicks. Joe. Of the service to the Muskogee Creek Nation. Back to you, Joseph Hicks, for his contributions to serving as National Council Creek District Representative from 2020 to 2023. Our next plaque will be presented to Speaker William Lowe. In recognition of his service to the Muskogee Creek Nation, presented to William Lowe, Speaker, for his contributions in serving as National Council, Okmulgee District Representative from 2020 to 2023, and one session as Speaker. Go for your service.
Hello, Second Speaker. Greatly appreciate it. It's been an honor to serve. Tremendous honor. Thank you. Announcements. Do we have any announcements, Representative? Okay, right outside, we're going to offer you early Christmas. We have a little candy gift bag for you. So please grab one and only one, not 8 for your cousins. Hey, I'm just kidding, just kidding. But they're out there for you. We want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It's been great to serve you all, so outstanding. We have any other announcements? Representatives, any announcements? Hearing none, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Representative Nelson Harjo makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yahola Osborne. Any discussion on adjournment? Hearing none, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, will be adjourned. I would like to ask Representative Galen Cloud to say today's benediction. Amen. Mado Representative Cloud, we are adjourned at 10:30 a.m. Get home safe. Mado. Appreciate you, man. Yep.